for tonight. So, like, if you need to get up and move, like, stand up, stretch your body a little bit, because I know sometimes just lying on the floor, I get a little, like, oh, I just need to, like, move my body a little bit. So, if at any point you need to move, please feel free to just stop wherever we're at and take a little break if you need to. But we're going to be working on the pelvic floor a little bit. I don't think we've done too much of the pelvic floor, as well as like the ab work and just the whole like core. So a little like forewarning, I don't know, a little like message. I guess when I say core, I'm talking about your like abdomen as well as your pelvic floor. So it's that whole like corset as well as like the muscles on your back and side. So I think when people say core, people just think automatically they're like six-pack abs. But when I say core, I want you to think pelvic floor, abdominals, and the back muscles as well. So let's
shut this off.
Yeah, let's get started. I think this is everyone. So let's do a little bit of the 3-part breath. And with everything that we are doing tonight, I want you to think of like, okay, how am I going to incorporate the pelvic floor, or what is happening within the pelvic floor if there's no direct movement happening in that practice, okay? So with the breath, it's kind of cool. You can, if you know or kind of can like visualize what your diaphragm looks like. Your diaphragm is like a dome that sits kind of right under the ribs, the top of the belly. And it's a dome shape. And your pelvic floor is moving in synchronization with the diaphragm. So when you take the inhale, your diaphragm is expanding. Exhale, relax. So I want you to take just a couple inhales and exhales. Actually, I think I said that backwards. When you inhale, your diaphragm is like expanding. Exhale, it relaxes and gets broader. Starting to transition into a 3-part breath. So sending that breath into the belly area first, then the ribs, and finally the chest on the inhale. Exhale, release from the chest, ribs, belly. Inhale, bottom to top. Exhale, top to bottom. Comparing this breath to maybe like the first couple times that you were to do this breath to now, and seeing if you've changed this breath at all, if it's become easier, or if you have more control over the breath. Even if it's still not perfect, because I know mine isn't, just see where you've made some of the improvements with your 3-part breath. It's been about like 3.5 months since we've been doing the virtual sewing yoga. So you've had a lot of classes that you guys have attended, so it'll be kind of fun. Maybe this class we can kind of look back at some of the stuff that we do most of the classes and see how far that improvement has progressed throughout all of those months. Okay. One more breath here. If you're in a sitting position, you can start to transition onto your back. Bringing the soles of the feet to the mat. Resting here. Analyzing how the body is feeling. Are there any aches or pains anywhere? Can you release any tension in your body now? Or do you think throughout the practice you can start to release different points of tension in the body? You can bring the arms to a 90-degree angle or out in a straight T. Lift the legs to a 90-degree angle like you're sitting in a chair. And if you have a blanket or a pillow, you can drop that under your thighs or your knees and start to drop the knees to one side, coming into a spinal twist. So I know we haven't done much to warm up the spine or the pelvis at all, so take it easy. Prop your knees up where it feels comfortable so that you're not straining or forcing yourself into a twist that is uncomfortable. And as we come up out of this twist, I want you to start to recognize what muscles are starting to pull the knees back up as you engage all throughout the core. So slowly start to bring the knees up, 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 back to neutral. And then easy does it over to the other side, bringing your props with you that you need. And as you're here in this twist, see if you can let your core fully relax. We're going to come back up, see what you engage. We're going to do a twist one more time on each side. Bring it down when you're ready. Inhale, maybe use the breath. Exhale over to the other side. Inhale, back up, use that core. Good, set the feet down. Let's come into our favorite arch and flattens. Okay, so again, we're going to have the focus of our pelvic floor during the arch and flatten, which might be something completely different that you've never thought about within your arch and flatten. So let's come into our arch first. So maybe it helps to have with hands on the pelvic or on the hip bones. Or maybe you even have a hand, you're in your own space, so you have a hand down at the pelvic floor. Or maybe you could lie a blanket over your pubic region. Something just to have a little more sense of what is going on. But slowly starting to tilt the pelvis. Having that arch in the low back, noticing what happens within the pelvic floor. And then as slowly as you can, coming back down, seeing if you can release the core, release the belly muscles, the pelvic floor as you return to neutral. Coming into it again. Small arch, the hips start to tilt. as slowly as you can. You start to release the muscles throughout the entire core, letting yourself float back to neutral. Good. Come back into it one more time. Feeling that slight sense of shift in the pelvic floor. Maybe you feel that slight engagement. And then maybe do it 1 or 2 more times at your own pace. So I want you to start to think about when you are using the restroom. So I will share openly, I love my squatty potty. If you don't know what a squatty potty is, it's where you just, it's like a stool that hoists your feet up, so it's like a stool. And really all that, it does a lot of things, but one of the main things that it does is that it shifts the position of your pelvis. And so even if you don't have a squatty potty, I suggest that while you're going to the bathroom, whether it's urinating or a bowel movement, you try to do an arch and flatten a couple times while you're sitting on the toilet so that you can find the best position to be able to eliminate. Because it will, if you have trouble going, or if you have trouble like releasing everything as you go, you will see a difference as you find the correct position to be able to fully release the muscles. Okay, so we don't need to like strain or push while we are going into the bathroom. So if you learn how to contract, or more importantly how to release, you'll be able to go to the restroom with more ease. And you can also I'll keep going with it, there's a lot to it. Let's come into our flatten. So come into the flatten, start to press the tailbone down. Oh wait, sorry. Round one. Tuck the tailbone. Feel the belly muscles contract a little bit. And this one, I can feel my pelvic floor contract just a little bit more than I do on the arch. And then I can start to release the pelvic floor. As I release the pelvic floor, my hips start to come back, the spine starts to release, and my belly muscles can let go. A couple more times. Tuck the tailbone, feel that pelvic floor start to engage, feel the belly muscles engage, lengthening that spine along the mat. Release the pelvic floor muscles. Imagine like you're letting the pelvic floor muscles go nice and slow, not just a quick burst. So the slower, the better. To gain the control and relaxing. A couple more times. And so the quick release is a lot better if you have any incontinence. I know as women age or go through changes, you have babies, all of that good stuff. Incontinence becomes more common, not normal, but more common. And so if you can start to learn how to control the pelvic floor muscles, you're going to see a decrease in incontinence. Where was I before? I feel like I had some good stuff. It'll come back to me. Okay, let's go back and forth between the arch and the flatten, noticing how the pelvic floor starts to shift. Taking your time. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So, even as you start to go to the bathroom the next, tonight, tomorrow, whatever, after this class, and if you are practicing your arch and flatten before you go to the restroom, you can notice how your flow of your urine starts to release, it's running down your leg, or if it's flowing in a consistent flow or whatever. I know it's like a little TMI maybe, but it does change as you start to learn how to use your pelvic floor and fully release and get yourself eliminating properly. Okay, I think that's all I have on it. Okay, completing your arch and flattens. And then sending your legs long. Letting yourself completely relax, taking a body scan from head to toe. Noticing how your arch and flatten today was different than the first time we met and you tried arch and flatten. Does it make more sense in your own body? Have you been able to use it daily, weekly? Do you understand more parts of the arch and flatten in all its complexity? And are you still able to find new things in the one movement of arch and flatten? Bring your feet back to the mat. Arms are going to be down by your side, palms are facing the floor. You're going to use your arms as kind of like leverage, as well as your head and any other part of your body that is touching the floor. So shoulders, arms, head, feet. We're going to come into a bridge. Now, I only want you to lift your hips as far as an activation is needed. So if you don't even have to lift off the ground to feel the activation of bridge pose, fantastic. If you need to lift all the way up and that is comfortable on your spine, perfect. But with this bridge, we're going to start to engage the pelvic floor, engage the abdominals, and engage the glutes, and start to lift our hips off the floor, coming into bridge pose. Okay, so this is bridge pose, and you can feel all of your muscles engaged, holding you up. You can press your arms, shoulders, back of the head into the floor, and let you hold it here. But as you start to release, you release your muscles, let yourself come down, and imagine your pelvic floor is like an elevator. It's all the way up at the top floor, and as you release, it starts to release slowly, floor by floor, from top to bottom, controlling all of the muscles, until you finally let that release happen all the way. Couple more times. Press the feet into the floor, engage the core, engage the glutes, lift up into a bridge to your comfortable spot. Let yourself come back down. If bridge is uncomfortable for your knees, you could always put like a pillow or a block in between your knees and let yourself squeeze that block to take a little bit of pressure off of the knees, or you just don't come up and don't put weight on the hips. I can come up here, engage my pelvic floor, engage the abdominals and the glutes, and still find that release without coming all the way up and putting a lot on my knees. Let's do it one more time. Engage through the whole body. As slow as you can, find the release. Find that relaxation. A really common misconception of Kegels and strengthening the pelvic floor is constantly all day having the pelvic floor engaged and contracted, and that is actually like weakening the pelvic floor. So you want to be able to go fluidly between a contraction and a relaxation, and at different times be able to transition to do whatever is needed in that situation. So if you're just relaxing and sitting around, you don't need to engage the pelvic floor. Let it relax. There's no need to have that contraction, okay? All right. A couple more things on our back. So if you have a pillow or something, I have moved all of my blocks. So we'll just imagine you're gonna take a pillow or something that fits nicely between the thighs and start to squeeze it between the thighs, lifting your legs up. If your legs are too long, too heavy, whatever, it's uncomfortable, bend at the knees. And we are going to start engaging this lower abdominal, so right above the pelvic floor. Arms are still down at the side. And I do not want you to lift your booty off the floor. Go as small as you can, lifting the feet energetically towards the ceiling. And as you start to push the soles of the feet towards the ceiling, you can feel those lower abdominals start to engage. And so if I were to lift my booty off the floor, I'm using different muscles, okay? So keep it, I don't know if can you see it? I'm just barely engaging that lower abdominal, but I feel the burn, and I'm back down. Pressing the knees towards the ceiling if your knees are bent. Good. Go ahead and relax. We're going to do that one more time. Set of 5. So feet are up or knees are bent. Barely engaging. If someone were to have their hands on your feet and they were pressing your feet and you were pressing their hands, that's the force I want you to feel. 3, 4, 5. Good. Relax. And you can come up to a seated position. We're going to have our legs out long. I like to fold a blanket or a soft pillow and have that position under me just to get my hips up a little bit and take the strain off of my low back as well as the back of my legs. Also, I pull that extra flesh away from my sit bones so I have more direct contact. And have the legs out long in front of you. If it's still pulling on the back of the legs or the back at all, go ahead and bend the knees. There's no one saying that you have to have straight legs. Good. Keeping a neutral spine. Reaching the crown of your head towards the ceiling. Lift the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Coming to where it's comfortable, and consciously choose, do I want to keep a neutral spine as I fold all the way down, or to my furthest point, or do I want to consciously round through the spine and feel that stretch? So what's going to be best for your body today in this forward fold? Of the legs. Go ahead and spread the legs out. And then let's just start to walk out. I'm not a flexible yogi in this sense. So you can go further, go ahead and go further. Working on those inner thighs, stretching them out. Good. Walking the hands back and sitting up. And then pulling the soles of the feet together. Bringing the heels as close to your pelvis as you can. And again, it doesn't hurt to have your trusty props by you. You could prop up your knees so there isn't as much strain on the hip joint or those muscles and tendons in the inner thigh. So like, oops, you can just make those adjustments to where it best fits you. And we're going to come into butterfly, opening up those inner thighs a little bit more somehow. Butterfly is like my favorite pose, even though, I don't know. Anyway, so you can choose to stay sitting up neutral, or you can start to fold into your butterfly pose. You can walk the hands out in front of you. Breathing into it. Taking some nice deep inhales and exhales. Good. If you are folded, you can start to walk your hands back in. And then wherever your heels are, I want you to bring them out just further in front of you. So you can, as far as you can, I guess, in front of you, with the feet still touching, knees are still bent, and adjusting your props as needed. So you have a little like diamond shape that you made with your legs. And then from here, you can stay neutral if this feels good. Or if you want to fold into it, you can fold into it. Giving a slightly different stretch here. Good. Walking your hands back in if you're folded. And coming to an easy seated position, so just sit however is comfortable for you. And then inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, drop the right arm, leaning over, stretching out this left side body as you reach the left arm overhead. Inhale, lift it up. Switch sides. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale, exhale. Good. Coming back up. Good. Alright, I have a couple more different pelvic floor exercises. And this one you're going to want to be a little closer to the wall so that your feet are positioned towards the wall so that you can have like your knees at a 90-degree angle with your feet against the wall. Let's give you some time to get there. We're going to come into figure four pose, stretching out those hips a little bit more. Maybe you can feel the pelvic floor engagement a little bit, maybe not. You can choose if you want to find that engagement or if you want to find that relaxation, okay? So go ahead and bring your right foot and cross that right ankle across the left knee. You can flex the right foot to protect the right knee. And this feels super good for me with my right leg, the outer thigh, getting a little stretch down into my glute. If you need a little bit more of a stretch, you can scoot your bum closer to the wall. If you need to back off a little bit, back away from the wall. Make those adjustments, listen to your body. And we're just going to hang out here in our figure four pose. Okay, let's add to it a little bit. So, this is the stretch. Let's get into a little bit of movement. So you're just going to start to put a little bit of pressure into this left foot against the wall. And maybe you lift the hips. But as I lift the hips, I can start to feel that pelvic floor engagement. And then easy does it back down. I let myself release the pelvic floor, release the pressure in the left foot, and relax. 2 more times. Press the left foot. Maybe you lift the hips. Feel that pelvic floor engagement. Nice and slow. Release. Last one here. Beautiful. Let's switch legs. Release the right foot. Cross the left ankle over the right knee. Flex the left foot so that you're pulling the toes towards the knee. And let's just hang out here for a little bit. Okay, let's come into a little bit of movement. Pressing this right foot into your wall. Gently lifting the hips. It doesn't have to be far to get that pelvic floor engagement. And then coming right back down with it. But slow release. We don't want a sudden burst. 2 more times. Press the foot, engage the pelvic floor, the core all the way up engages. Slow release. Last one. Left foot finds the wall. Pausing here. Letting your wall support your legs so that you can just relax here. Okay, for this movement, you might have to scooch your booty just a little bit closer to the wall so that you can have like the sides of your feet like you were doing butterfly pose against the wall. And then, so we're going to do like clam shells. So you can imagine a clam opening and shutting. Let's just do one leg at a time. So maybe the left leg goes out, dropping that knee towards the side, and then nice and slow back in. Open it up. So here you're getting that inner thigh work as you start to bring that leg back in, but you're also getting that pelvic floor engagement. Let's do 10 total. I don't know if you were counting, but you can just estimate 10. Just with the left leg. We'll do one more maybe. Alright, good. Moving to the other side whenever you're ready. Doing 10 on this side as well. Taking it nice and slow. Taking a break when you're done with your 10. And we're going to do 10 with both legs moving together. You might feel this little core work tomorrow, so if you're sore, don't be surprised. I warned you. After your 10, you can hug the knees in towards your chest. Maybe rock side to side a little bit. Let's come into happy baby. So you can come into happy baby either with your peace fingers or at your big toe, around the inner sides of your feet, or grabbing behind your knees, your thigh area, and pulling your knees down towards your armpits or the floor. I don't know if I've told this joke before, but one of my yoga teachers said that she was teaching a yoga class one time to some woman, like one of her first yoga classes, and they did Happy Baby. And one of the ladies was like, Happy Baby, more like Happy Lady. It makes me laugh every time I do this pose now. Coming in out of your happy baby, let's come into our reclined butterfly. So, letting the soles of the feet come together. Knees are out wide. If you need a blanket or a pillow to prop your knees up so you don't have so much strain, please do so. Reclined butterfly is meant to be a restorative relaxation pose. And I like to have one hand on my chest, one hand on my belly as I rest in Happy Baby, or in Reclined Butterfly, sorry. then I will give you like 1 or 2 minutes to do any other poses, or if you need to use the restroom, grab a drink, whatever, before we come into Shavasana. So if you want to do like legs up the wall, another twist, arch and flatten, whatever it may be, to get yourself situated and ready for our final rest. Okay. If you aren't already in Shavasana, you can start to make your way there using any props that you'd like, whether that's some comfy props, essential oils, a candle, turn the lights off, whatever will let you fully relax for the next like 15 or so minutes. Closing your eyes, or maybe you have something resting over your eyes. Making any last adjustments to the body to find comfort. And start to deepen the inhale. The long exhale. 2 more. Take an inhale. On the exhale, maybe it's a sigh of relief. Inhale. Last big exhale. Letting your breath return to its natural rhythm. And start to imagine this golden light. And this golden light encompasses positive energy, positive emotions, and positive manifestations. We're going to be placing this golden light throughout points on the body. And as I say each point on the body, you start to place a mark with the golden light at that point. Taking another 1, inhale, exhale, placing a golden light at the center of your eyebrows. Placing a golden light at the center of your throat. Place in a golden light, the center of your heart. Moving over to the right shoulder, marking a point. Down to the right elbow. The right wrist. Marking a golden light at the tip of the right pinky finger. The tip of the right ring finger. The tip of the right middle finger. The tip of the right pointer finger. The tip of the right thumb. Coming back to the center of the heart. Placing the golden light at the left shoulder. The left elbow. The tip of the left pinky finger. The tip of the left ring finger. The tip of the left middle finger. The tip of the left pointer finger. The tip of the left thumb. Place in another golden light, the center of the heart. A golden light at the navel center. Moving over to the right hip, placing a golden light, the right hip. The right knee. The right ankle. Golden light at the tip of the right big toe. The right second toe. The right third toe. The right fourth toe. And the right fifth toe. Back to the center of the navel. Over to the left hip, placing a point of golden light. The left knee. The left ankle. A golden point at the tip of the left big toe. The left second toe. The left third toe. The left fourth toe. And the left fifth toe. Another golden point at the center of the navel. The center of the heart. The center of the throat. Finally, back to the third eye, the space between your eyebrows. Seeing all these points of golden light throughout your body. Seeing them glow brighter and brighter as you imagine the positive energy, the positive emotions, and positive manifestations that you put into all of these points for yourself. And as they glow brighter, you can imagine them as stars in the night sky, seeing yourself as one with the night sky. And with every breath that you take as you rest here, you can feel these golden points move with the breath, eventually reaching all points of the body, moving like waves with the breath as you rest here. And slowly start to deepen your inhale and exhale, gently wiggling the fingers and the toes, coming back into the space around you. And taking your time to either roll to your side, rest there, to find a seated position. And as you come to seated position, just want you to think of 3 things that you're grateful for, that you can show gratitude. Bringing your hands to your heart center. Wish you all love, light, and happiness. Namaste. Thanks, everyone.